Rather lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are live for the live 60k subscriber live. I said I would come live and we talk about Arsenal, but I also wanted to say thank you so much, guys. You have actually done it, and I can't believe when we began this journey, like 2019, I never thought we would get to these numbers. I never thought we'd be here. I never thought I'd be talking to over 60,000 people. Arsenal community, a community that loves me, a community that I really, really love a lot. And I think apart from my life, you guys are actually the biggest thing I have. And I'm really, really so grateful. So we are at 60k. The road really continues, but I really feel so satisfied. I really feel very, very grateful. And if you know you've smashed the like button on this channel, thank you so much. If you know you've hit that subscribe button, and look, if you've watched a video on this channel, whether you've smashed the subscribe button or you have not, you actually mean the world to me. I'm so happy. I'm so glad to have you guys as a community. And I hope we can continue to grow and, you know, create more content together. The content you love and the content that I really, really love. And I want to be more consistent on it, almost on a daily basis, bring you the best content that happens around our club, Arsenal Football Club. So today we're going to be talking about that transfer record the Arsenal could smash in January just to sign MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. We're going to be talking about Dusan Vlahovic because according to the Express, Ryan Taylor has said that Arsenal right now have moved on Dusan Vlahovic. They felt a little bit disrespected by the agents and representatives of Dusan Vlahovic this year in January, not even trying to pick our calls, not even trying to talk to us. So they felt a little bit disrespected. Although there is a chance to sign Dusan Vlahovic, we actually will not be trying to take that chance. And also, still the Express are saying that Arsenal could be looking at a centre forward to reduce the pressure on Eddie Nketiah. Now, yesterday I was watching France, and there is a name, Marcus Thuram. Of course, it was Kolo Muani that scored the second goal to create the difference against Morocco. But I think Marcus Thuram is someone to talk about. I really wish we could sign Olivier Giroud back, but Marcus Thuram is a player that we are going to be talking about on this live stream, because I think if Arsenal are thinking about getting a centre forward just to help Eddie Nketiah when Gabriel Jesus is out, then probably Marcus Thuram is the guy for us to deal with. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, and in the comment section, talk to me, guys. Should we smash our transfer record on MYKHAYLO MUDRYK? Should Arsenal spend over 72 million euros on MYKHAYLO MUDRYK? Because according to what we are getting from the Express, Arsenal would love to smash that transfer record. Arsenal are happy to invest in the player because they believe he's actually what we are looking for. So we're going to be talking about all that in this one. So let's get, I think to begin off, let's talk about Ryan Taylor's reports today. He's been actually speaking much about MYKHAYLO MUDRYK and where Arsenal think they are and what Arsenal are prepared to do. And he said right now, Arsenal look at him as a priority and they are willing to splash all the money that will be needed, all the funds that will be needed to complete this deal. Stan Kroenke has already promised Mikel Arteta that there will be some backing, which is around, I think up to 50 million euros. So there will be some backing in January, up to 50 million euros. But the most important thing is MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is the guy that Mikel Arteta wants. So if it's 70 million euros, we could see Arsenal go in to splash 70 million euros on MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. Yesterday, the CEO, Shakhtar was saying that at the moment, we don't have a club that has actually given us the offer we want, but it is kind of 50-50. It is January, it is winter, so it's 50-50. He will be living he will be living in January and joining another club if they give us the money actually we want. So I don't know what to think about 70 million euros for MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. I feel, look, I'll give a lot of respect to Shakhtar. I'll give a lot of credit to Shakhtar in this instance and scenario, because what Shakhtar have done here is they have realized that Arsenal are desperate. They've actually realized that the only way to sell MYKHAYLO MUDRYK in January is by selling him to Arsenal. And they've come to London. Their representative has come to London and negotiated with a few clubs, but the focus is Arsenal Football Club. So they've set the price at 100 million euros, knowing that Brighton cannot pay that money, knowing Brentford cannot pay that money, knowing that all these other clubs, including Everton, are not going to be paying 70 million euros or 80 million euros for Dusan Vlahovic. Although Everton did sell Richarlison, I do not think they're going to splash 100 million euros just to replace Richarlison. It's the same story with Leeds United. They also want MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, but they cannot afford. So their target is Arsenal. And the only way you want to get the maximum amount of money if you're selling to a club like Arsenal is you set it too high. You must set the bar very, very high. Just like what Brighton did with Benjamin White. They asked for 80 million, we negotiate to 60, and then we end up paying 50, and we end up overpaying, right? So if you want Arsenal to overpay, I think you must really exaggerate the price. But the question is, MYKHAYLO MUDRYK worth breaking a transfer record on? And that is the question we are answering, and that is the conversation we're having in the comment section. Is he worth breaking a transfer record on? Now, I'm going to say this. If actually we broke it on Pepe, of Nicola Pepe, I think MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is more than worth breaking our transfer record. I think the intrinsic value is actually where the debate is where the conversation is about. Do we really value him at that price? Do we really feel he's there at 71 million? He's 21, last campaign, 18 appearances, 18 goal contributions. That was absolutely sick. Those are absolutely mad numbers. And I think what Mikel Arteta has always done is he's looked at players with a lot of potential, players with a lot of ambition, players that have this kind of glitter on them, and he's gone, I'm going to sign him and I'm going to make him something big. Look at Odegaard, look at Lokonga, look at Nuno Tavares, look at all these players that we sign, and not everyone would actually go for them. Not everyone would actually die for their signature. But right now, these players have put Arsenal on top of the table, and also they have allowed us to dream again as Arsenal fans. I think for me, that is the most important thing this Arsenal team has done. They have allowed us to dream again. They have allowed us to live in the moment. The Arsenal on top of the table, first and foremost, and nothing's gonna stop us from winning the title, probably, which is kind of still very, very far away from. So I'm really happy with the idea that Arsenal are really willing to go to the extreme end to sign MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, to break the bank, to break our transfer record. But then I'm quite skeptical. Let's look at some of the big money signings that we've actually made over the years and how they've actually worked. Andre Arshavin, I don't know whether you would rate Arshavin as a flop at Arsenal or as a failed transfer. I would love to know, right? I would really, really love to know. Was Andre Arshavin a flop? Was he a failed deal? Was he... I don't think it was a big success. I don't think it was a huge success in my eyes. But remember, Arshavin at some point in time was a transfer record breaker for Arsenal as well. So, Andre Arshavin, I wasn't really satisfied. For a player with that kind of hype, for a player with that kind of talent, because I really believe he had the talent, I don't think he did better than Rosicky. I don't think he did better than Eduardo. I don't think he really did better than those two. And therefore, I cannot term him as a big success unless otherwise. But I don't think Arshavin was really a big success at Arsenal. Then Mesut Ozil. I think with Mesut Ozil, this one is going to really have so many mixed reactions, and I don't know what you people are gonna say about Mesut Ozil. I think it's gonna have a lot of mixed reactions because the earlier parts and days of his career was sensational with Arsenal. First, we never thought he would sign for Arsenal, and when he came at Arsenal and signed, we couldn't believe it. But even on top of that, he became a sensation. Like, he became a massive sensation. Carrying a record for the most number of assists in the Premier League. I think that was in his first season or second season. And I think we've not had a number 10 as good as Mesut Ozil ever since we lost Cesc Fabregas to Barcelona. I don't think we've ever had a number 10 as good as Mesut Ozil. And even with Martin Odegaard right now trying to occupy those boots, I don't think he's actually done it yet. He will do it. There is no question about Martin Odegaard. He's a game controller. He's a freak of talent and nature. But he's not yet done it. So with Mesut Ozil, I'm going to say 80% he was a success. And he was a big money move as well. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, no brainer. He was a success, a huge success to the level that even when he went on to captain this Arsenal side, I felt like he deserved it. Yeah, there was a fallout, and with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, it was more of a fallout. I don't think it was something different from that. It was more just of the fallout, but as a big money move, it actually worked. It really worked. Alexander Lacazette, huge, big flop. Yeah, that was a huge big flop. And I don't know why it didn't work. I just don't understand why Lacazette didn't work out at Arsenal. To be honest, I think we scouted him for some time. I think he's a player we looked at for some big time. And maybe it should have been Karim Benzema and not Alexander Lacazette. And the fact that we got Lacazette instead of Benzema, Arsene Wenger got all the mathematics wrong. I don't think it was a terrible signing like the likes of Chamak. But for that money, did we really ever get value for money? No. I really don't think we did. And I thought he would actually work well with the Premier League because he's that kind of guy that has that huge board. His physicality is strong as well. And I feel like the Premier League would have been a place for him. I don't think he lacks that clinical touch, because at Lyon, even after going back, he's actually been doing it at a more consistent basis. Finishing off touches, finishing off chances. I think it's a little bit clinical, but I don't know what happened really with Arsenal, right? And then Nicolas Pepe, another flop from France, okay? The good thing is that MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is not coming from France. I don't want to sign any other flops from France, okay? So you look at our history with big money signings. You look at our history with players that have been breaking our transfer record. They've actually not done very well, apart from Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil. So MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, is it the one? Is it time for us to go 73 million, 75 million euros? We've broken our transfer record and we believe he is the guy. Let me know in the comment box below. And I'm going to say this. The transfer strategy Edu and Mikel Arteta have implemented in the last 2 seasons has been absolutely superb. I think we are scouting players better. I think we are giving players more time before signing them than never before. And I think Arsenal have become a better team in the transfer market. So if Edu ever believes that MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is worth that much, if Edu believes that MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is worth 70 million and Mikel Arteta agrees, I think we should go for it. I honestly think we should go for it because there's so many advantages to signing him. He's still young, so if Arsenal sign him and then it doesn't work out, that's no problem. We can actually move on. We can do some drop shipping from Shakhtar to Arsenal to somewhere else, right? So we can do some drop shipping. I'm not really saying that it's going to happen. I'm only saying, right? And that is the first advantage with that deal. And that's why I feel more secure and very, very, very okay with us splashing whichever amount of money on MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. Take, for instance, Marco Asensio. If we sign Marco Asensio right now and it doesn't work out and his career doesn't turn around, it would be more of a baggage to move on. He's gonna become a huge burden to move on. I don't think MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is like that. He comes into the side for 73 million. He doesn't work out. You can even send him out on loan, probably to any club, and then call him for another season. But I think most importantly, I think he has actually arrived, and that is why I think Arsenal can pay whatever amount of money below 100 million euros. I don't think he's 100 million euros. I don't think he's 90 million euros. I don't think he's 80 million euros. But between 35 to 75, I would be okay with that, right? And of course, the 75 also putting into consideration that we are in desperate times. We don't have one of our best attackers, and still we have a very, very thin squad, and we're trying to fight for big things, okay? So that's one of the reasons why I would really say, Arsenal, it's okay. Go on, sign him for 75 million euros. Give him the time. I think what has happened with Jack Grealish is everyone just seems to be okay with Jack Grealish not performing well. They have given him the time, and they feel he will eventually come around, right? And for me, I know Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka are going to become prime English internationals, and Jack Grealish is not going to become that guy. We know he's never going to become that guy. But with MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, I think if he comes in the Premier League, give him some time, let him adapt to the league, let him adapt to the environment. He's gonna do very, very big things. Very, very big things. So Ryan Taylor has actually said that he understands that MYKHAYLO MUDRYK is undoubtedly Arsenal's priority, priority in terms of an attacking target. The club are open-minded about the prospect of signing a centre forward to ease the burden on Eddie Nketiah in the absence of first choice Gabriel Jesus. And they also say he also says that striking a deal with Shakhtar is unlikely to prove straightforward following Shakhtar's huge financial losses. So it's not that it's not going to happen. It is not going to be easy. Okay, it is unlikely to be easy, and we know why it's never going to be easy. I think Shakhtar will want to look at the transfer models of Benfica, of clubs like Ajax, and how they've done it, where you have players like Darwin Núñez, who you could sell in January, but then you wait 3-4 months later for their value to increase, for more clubs to be able to afford them, and then you can set the price high and you can get huge amounts of money from their sale. Okay, so not unlikely to happen, but unlikely to be easy. And I don't expect any easy deals in January. Mikel Arteta and Edu don't want to do loan deals. They don't want to do free deals, probably in January, because they actually don't exist. So if you don't want to do loan deals in January, your negotiation power must be absolutely in the sky. It must be through the roof, right? But the other piece I love about Ryan Taylor's spot is the fact that Arsenal could now think about signing a new centre forward to help out Eddie Nketiah with the absence of Gabriel Jesus. I don't know what to think about this one. I want to get your thoughts still. Do you think Arsenal should focus on getting another centre forward to help out Eddie Nketiah? Look, I love Eddie, but something really doesn't sit well with me when it comes to Eddie Nketiah and being our first man and being our main striker. Right, something really doesn't sit with me. I don't know if I'm wrong. I would really love to know if if I'm wrong about Eddie. And it's an opinion show where we share thoughts. So let me know. Do you trust Eddie, or do we go and get a striker? Before I give you my opinion, Sanjeev says the question is, will MYKHAYLO MUDRYK adapt in the Premier League, or will he be like Nicola Pepe? I think that's a very big question. That's a very good question. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Does he have the ability to adapt to the Premier League? I think he has. But the problem is that Pepe also had the ability. I think Pepe is not a weak player. Like, you literally cannot just push him off the ball. I think he's small, but very strong. MYKHAYLO MUDRYK as well is strong, fast, a fast thinker, and a player that I really think has a lot to offer to the Premier League. Does he have the attributes to adapt? He does. Can he adapt? Maybe that is where the question would actually come in. But we've seen a few players from Ukraine, and they've actually done well in the Premier League, including Alexander Zinchenko as well, by the way. I think they've really done, I think they've really done well. They've really done well, and a few Russian players, because I think Russia and Ukraine, kind of from the same area, and a few Russian players have come to the Premier League, have also done well. So I think he can adapt. I really don't feel, I don't feel scared that he might come to the Premier League and not adapt. Maybe the question is, how long would it take to adapt? Because we want a player to come in and adapt really, really quickly. He's going to come to this Arsenal side that is young, but has a lot of expectations to fulfill, especially on the fan side. One, we want to win the Premier League. Two, we want to win the Europa League for the first time and win the European competition for the first time in a very, very long time. I want to win the Premier League again in a very, very long time. We want to win the FA Cup and stay record holders. So it is a lot to digest. And when you come in January as MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, you're not going to have all that time to settle in. You're not going to have all that time to to breathe, right? You need to start working and acting right away. But I think he can actually adapt, Sanjeev, to be honest. Someone says Asensio can't cope with the pace of Arsenal. I'm a Spaniard fan. I watch a lot of La Liga and I watch a lot of Asensio on Spain. I think you're wrong. I actually think you are wrong. I think Marco Asensio would do well at Arsenal. My problem is his career is more of undefined right now. When you look at the players we are signing, Mudryk's career is on the rise, so that's defined. Odegaard's career was very, very much alive, so it wasn't dead. Ben White's career is alive. So most of the players we're signing have a clear trajectory in their careers, and that trajectory is upwards. The problem with Marco Asensio is the trajectory of his career is either flat or going downwards. And I don't think we need players with that we will be required to revive. We need players that are going to come in and start performing right away. And that's why I think a player like MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, who's been performing at a top level, who's been doing all these good things at Shakhtar, is a very good buy. Very, very, because you don't need a lot of polishing. All you need to tell him, this is how you deal with Premier League defenders. This is what you need to do. This is our system. This is how you'll fit in. And boom. You trigger your man. Hey, Kosi, Vlahovic is good. We're gonna talk about Dusan Vlahovic. Alex says we need a striker who is not injury prone. I don't think Gabriel Jesus is injury prone. We've talked about this before. I don't think he's injury prone. Arau says 60 million is enough for MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. Okay, thank you so much. Anu says hit the like button. Hit the like button for me, people. Thank you so much. The guy is a superstar. Says Paul. James says any updates for Cody Gakpo? I think Cody Gakpo. I don't know if I'm right to say this, but I think Cody Gakpo could be heading to Manchester United. I think he's had his head turned by Erik ten Hag, and he feels Ten Hag, as a manager who's been in the Dutch Eredivisie, understands him better, and he also feels that he would love to work with the manager who is very, very closely related to the managers he's actually been working with in the Dutch Eredivisie. Man United have made him a priority signing, and I also think it's not what Mikel Arteta wants, because there was a small window to do the Cody Gakpo deal in the summer, in the last days of the summer, but instead we went for Noah Lang and Pedro Neto. So I think Mikel Arteta looks at Cody Gakpo and is like, he's good, he's tall, he's versatile, but he lacks something that I want. And for me, I know what Mikel Arteta wants. He wants that flair. He wants that ability in 1v1 situation. Actually, that is one thing that I think Cody Gakpo doesn't have. The part of his game that he doesn't have. That ability to sit a player down and then beat him in 1v1 situations, just like Dembele, just like Rafinha, just like Mudryk, just like Grealish, just like Saka, just like Martinelli. I think that is one reason why Arsenal go, maybe Gakpo doesn't tick the box, but maybe MYKHAYLO MUDRYK ticks the box better. Because for me, if I were Mikel Arteta and I wanted a forward who I'm going to transform into a versatile beast, then Cody Gakpo is the guy. Gakpo has played down through the middle for the Netherlands. He's played on the right-hand side for the Netherlands. He plays on the left-hand side for PSV. And whichever position he plays in, he scores goals. But I think Mikel Arteta wants that key element. Can you beat players in wide areas on 1v1 situations and create space for other players to run into? That is where Cody Gakpo actually doesn't qualify for Mikel Arteta's system, in my opinion. Because no matter the price, Mudryk will work for us. That is Anu. Thank you so much, my man Anu, always on. Okay. Fad says, how about Tielemans news, bro? Some other reports are saying they are now agreed personal terms. Now, personal terms were agreed. That is according to Court Offside, all right? So, but personal terms with MYKHAYLO MUDRYK and Yuri Tielemans were already agreed. We've done that story. And the Yuri Tielemans personal terms were actually done. That was, we did agree the personal terms in the summer. Okay, so no issue with personal terms with Yuri Tielemans. No issue. All we have to do is agree a price, and the player will be at the Emirates Stadium. Now let's talk about the striker issue, guys. So what is happening here is that we are having kind of a crisis. Is a kind of a crisis, and Arsenal are still caught in between. Do we go and sign a player just to help out Eddie Nketiah, or do we actually stick with our plan that every player who comes in must come in for a long term, or must come in on a long term basis and must come in after clear preparation? Look, I don't know what Mikel Arteta thinks about winning the title. I don't know what the inner communication is about winning the title. Are they really excited? Are they really under pressure to win it, just like the fans? Do they really badly want it? Because if you want to win the title, if you want to win the Premier League, and you lose your number 9, and you lose your first choice number 9, in my opinion, what you do is go out, you go to the market. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's the same thing with what Manchester United are going to do. They've lost Cristiano Ronaldo, who actually has not been a starter, but they are dying to sign Cody Gakpo as a replacement. It is the same thing we've got to do. For me, it's a no-brainer, right? Now, Ryan Taylor says that we are open-minded. We want to help Eddie Nketiah. We want to bring in someone to help Eddie Nketiah. But for me, it shouldn't be about someone to come in to help Eddie Nketiah. We need to bring in someone who replaces and gives us the same value as Gabriel Jesus. And that is going to seem harsh. That is going to sound very, very harsh. But that is my opinion. We need to bring in someone who is totally good. Right? I love Marcus Thuram. And I said we'll talk about him. And we're going to talk about Dusan Vlahovic as well. Because today, still Ryan Taylor said that at the moment, Arsenal seem like they have sailed away from the Dusan Vlahovic deal. They felt disrespected. They were disappointed by the lack of communication from the Dusan Vlahovic camp, and they believe it is now over. They don't want to go back into that mess again. Marcus Thuram is the other player that is available. Gladbach will sell him in January. He's playing with France currently. If they win the World Cup, his price might go a little bit higher, right? If they don't win the World Cup, I think his price will stay between 10 to 8 to around 10 million euros this January, because it's gonna work for free in the summer. But the whole idea, guys, for me of Dusan Vlahovic and everything is, I think we need to put our ego away just for a second. If there is a chance of signing a player like Dusan Vlahovic, like, just put your ego away. Just put it away. It's getting in the way. Yeah, it's getting in the way. Listen, Vlahovic can work side by side with Gabriel Jesus. Jesus is a very versatile player who can play on the right, who can play on the left, he can play anywhere on that front three. And you look at the qualities of Dusan Vlahovic, the board that he can be in terms of Arsenal trying to hit that ball forward when we play clubs like Manchester City, when we play clubs like Liverpool, clubs that really do enjoy more possession at times than us. His ability to spin in behind, just like Gabriel Jesus as well, his ability in the air. And I think this is where I am dying for Arsenal to sign someone. You know why I don't like Victor Osimhen so much? I think he's a quality forward, but I think Victor Osimhen has so many things lacking, especially aerial prowess. But with Dusan Vlahovic, I would be getting a striker who can score a goal, and every kind of goal in that penalty area. Whether it's in the air, whether it's on the left foot, on the right boot, with his chest, quick turns, tight spaces, he's that good. And look, just go in there at Juve, talk to them. I know right now Juventus are in a very, very precarious situation. They will actually listen. They will be listening to whatever everyone and each one has to say. So I think, look, I don't know why Mikel has gone. We are not gonna be signing. He's gone. We are not gonna be signing. Vlahovic, because we were disrespected. But in my opinion, I got no problems with it. To be honest, I got no problems with it. Go and do the deal and win the title. No one will ever think about, Arsenal were disrespected. The moment you win the title, everything, turns to gold. Everything turns into your favor. Bonyo Prem says, Jesus Pro, says, I don't think that guy will take a long time to adapt to Arsenal playing tactics, because you watch his moves and tackles at Shakhtar. I don't see them as very, very different. And then Sharon says, actually, Arsenal should work hard to bring MYKHAYLO. Look, I think Shakhtar play good football, right? Shakhtar play very, very good football. Very, very good football. And they're a team that I really like a lot. They're a team that I think in the Champions League, right? In the Champions League, they're a team that I've followed for some time. And also because they have these many Brazilians all the time. But I don't think their playing style is very different from Arsenal's. They dominate the ball much of the time, especially at home. They have these wide wingers that they use all the time to isolate, fullbacks and isolate, center backs as well. And then they always have that clinical guy. They always have that hardworking guy as a number 9. So their system is not so different from ours. So it might not take time to adapt to our system, but how about to the Premier League? Maybe that is where the real question would actually come in. Kutesa says Vlahovic is world class. I don't know about that. I remember saying he was world class when we wanted him, but I think he's good. He's really, really. It's better than Mitrovic. Yeah. Daniel says, I think we should take someone like Dusan Vlahovic. The guy is a real bully of a striker, shooting power, ball holding ability, and stability as well. I agree with you on that. I think he's a beast. He's a monster of a striker. Elid says Vlahovic doesn't like Arsenal. Mudryk has stated clearly he would love to play in the Premier League precisely for Arsenal. Okay. And then Mike says, if we bring Mudryk, it will make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, it's a long-term deal, so it's going to make a lot of sense. It's a long-term deal, so it will really make a lot of sense. So thank you so much for tuning in, hitting the like button. We are at 100 likes. Hit the like button for me. Just hit the like button. Thank you so much. You guys are really an amazing community. I'll speak to you in the next one. Probably when I get some more time, we'll be doing more of these live streams. Subscribe so that you don't miss any live stream. Like, I'm not trying to clickbait you, but I'm trying to say just subscribe so that when we are live, you are able to be notified, and then you know. And then when I upload, you're also among the first people to know. And I'll speak to you very, very soon.